look what we could do today. Class, did you bring your books today? Did you do your homework? The assignment, please turn it in. It's okay if your dog ate your homework. That's fine. As long as you behave, I won't sting you. Please have a seat. We're going to start reading together. Okay. Introduction. Folklore, legends, myths, and fairy tales have followed childhood through the ages, for every healthy youngster has a wholesome and instinctive love for stories, fantastic, marvelous, and manifestly unreal. The winged fairies of Grimm and Andersen have brought more happiness to childish hearts than all other human creations. Yet, the old-time fairy tale, having served for generations, may now be classed as historical in the children's library, for the time has come for a series of newer wonder tales in which the stereotyped genie, dwarf, and fairy are eliminated, together with all the horrible and blood-curdling incident devised by their authors to point a fearsome moral to each tale. Modern education includes morality. Therefore, the modern child seeks only entertainment in its wonder tales and gladly dispenses with all disagreeable incident. Having this thought in mind, the story of the Wonderful Wizard of Oz was written solely to pleasure children of today. It aspires to being a modernized fairy tale in which the wonderment and joy are retained and the heartaches and nightmares are left out. Huh, I didn't realize that, but I suppose the author, Baum, wanted this to be like a new genre of fairy tale, I suppose. That's very interesting. Hi, Like a Fox. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Have a seat. Get nice and cozy. VeggieTales has made a Wizard of Oz-based story called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. That's so cute. Isekai. Look at Toto. Toto is so cute with the bow. Oh, it says Chicago. Oh, interesting. Baum noted his, I'm assuming his location, 1900. Wait, does this date all the way back to 1900? Really? Is it really that old? Wait, copyright 1899. That's wild. Holy heck, I didn't realize it was that old. Whoa. Whoa, that's so old. Okay. Let's go. Wait, before we continue, did you have any favorite fairy tales when you were growing up? My favorite fairy tale growing up was definitely The Little Mermaid. I guess Baum didn't like feeling lectured. Baum was like, no, get these lessons out of my story. I only want story. It's time for something new, Baum said. Mine was Fairy Tale the anime. Larry the Cucumber played as the Tin Man. Oh, that's so cool. I never actually really got to watch I never really got to watch the VeggieTales while I was growing up, but I had a lot of friends who really enjoyed it. Mark Twain had an older isekai, Yankee in the King Arthur's Court. Wow. Oh, the Scarecrow. This book is dedicated to my good friend and my comrade, my wife, LFP. Chapter 1. The Cyclone. Yeah, comrade, like friend. Hi, Rin. Welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a chitty good stay. How are you? I can't. These drawings are so cute. Okay, let's start. Dorothy lived in the midst of the great Kansas prairies with Uncle Henry, who was a farmer, and Aunt Em, who was the farmer's wife. Their house was small, for the lumber to build it had to be carried by wagon by many miles. There were 4 walls, a floor and a roof, which made one room. And this room contained a rusty-looking cooking stove, a cupboard for the dishes, a table, 3 or 4 chairs, and the beds. Uncle Henry and Aunt Em had a big bed in one corner, and Dorothy had a little bed in another corner. There was no garret at all, and no cellar except a small hole dug in the ground called a cyclone cellar, where the family could go in case one of those great whirlwinds arose, mighty enough to crush anything in its path. It was reached by a trap door in the middle of the floor, from which a ladder led down into a small, dark hole. Chat, do you think you could live like that? Their house is basically like a small cabin. The drawings remind you of your childhood. I wish books that I read in school had these kinds of drawings throughout. It makes it feel so much more magical. I love it. Your favorite was the Hulk. Hulking out, hulking out. Hi, Toriko. Cupboard, welcome to the Blue. I hope you have a cherry good stay. I think it's safe to say that they led a simple life. When Dorothy stood in the doorway and looked around, she could see nothing but the great gray prairie on every side. Not a tree nor a house broke the broad sweep of flat country that reached the edge of the sky in all directions. The sun had baked the plowed land into a gray mass with little cracks running through it. Even the grass was not green, for the sun had burned the tops of the long blades until they were the same great color to be seen everywhere. Once the house had been painted, but the sun blistered the paint and the rains washed it away, and now the house was as dull and gray as everything else. Wow, super colorless it seems. Shin, welcome to the Blue. I hope you have a cherry good stay. How are you? When Aunt Em came there to live, she was a young, pretty wife. The sun and wind had changed her, too. They had taken the sparkle from her eyes and left them a sober gray. Wait, that's so sad. Poor Aunt Em. They had taken the red from her cheeks and lips, and they were gray also. She was thin and gaunt and never smiled now. Wait, this is so sad. When Dorothy, who was an orphan, first came to her, Aunt Em had been so startled. Wait. Oh, is that supposed to be... Wait, spoilers, I'm sorry. Why is that picture a spoiler? We'll go back to that one. By the child's laughter that she would scream and press her hand upon... Wait, is this what happened? What page did we go from 12 to 13? Okay. Aunt Em had been so startled by the child's laughter that she would scream and pressed her hand upon her heart whenever Dorothy's merry voice reached her ears, and she still looked at the little girl with wonder that she could find anything to laugh at. I didn't know Dorothy was an orphan. I thought she was a biological child. Hello, Nova. Welcome. No worries. We're having a very casual reading and discussing together, so no worries. Welcome. Uncle Henry never laughed. He worked hard from morning till night and did not know what joy was. Oh my gosh! He was gray also from his long beard to his rough boots, and he looked stern and solemn and rarely spoke. It was Toto that made Dorothy laugh and saved her from growing as gray as her other surroundings. Toto was not gray. He was a little black dog with long silky hair and small black eyes that twinkled merrily on either side of his funny wee nose. Aw, boop! Toto played all day long, and Dorothy played with him and loved him dearly. Today, however, they were not playing. Uncle Henry sat upon the doorstep and looked anxiously at the sky, which was even grayer than usual. Dorothy stood in the door with Toto in her arms and looked at the sky too. Aunt Em was washing the dishes. Hi, Dashing! Thank you for dropping by, and Squirrel as well. Hello. Also, in the movie, was Toto black? I thought was Toto brown in the movie? I don't remember. A book club! Hi, Sink! Welcome! How are you? And welcome, Maddie Kill! Welcome as well! I'm really obsessed with how these pictures are just illustrated straight onto the page with the text. It's so beautiful. It makes it feel so special. Da-dun-da. You thought Toto was gray? Isn't black just a really, really dark shade of gray? Oh, Goober. Goober, you're right. You're so right. From the far north, they heard a low wail on the wind, and Uncle Henry and Dorothy could see where the long grass bowed in waves before the coming storm. There now came a sharp whistling in the air from the south, and as they turned their eyes that way, they saw ripples in the grass coming from that direction also. Suddenly, Uncle Henry stood up. "There's a cyclone coming, Em," he called to his wife. "I'll go look after the stock." Then he ran toward the sheds where the cows and horses were kept. Aunt Em dropped her work and came to the door. One glance told her of the danger close at hand. "Quick, Dorothy," she screamed. "Run for the cellar." Toto jumped out of Dorothy's arms and hid under the bed, and the girl started to get him. Aunt Em, badly frightened, threw open the trap door in the floor and climbed down the ladder into the small dark hole. Dorothy caught Toto at last and started to follow her aunt. Chat, do you pronounce it aunt or aunt? I feel like I switch back and forth between the two, so I honestly don't know how I say it. In the movie, Toto was more brown. That's what I thought. You say aunt, you say aunt. A bit of both. Feel free to take notice of which one I say, because I honestly don't know. In VeggieTales, it was an amusement park. That's so cute. Honestly, in the movie, it felt very much like an amusement park, isn't it? Aunt, more than aunt. I love seeing it spelled as aunt. That's so funny. But there's a storm. Everyone buckle up. There's a storm coming. Homie huddle so we don't get lost. Okay, where were we? Dorothy caught Toto at last and started to follow her aunt. When she was halfway across the room, there came a great shriek from the wind, and the house shook so hard that she lost her footing and sat down suddenly upon the floor. And a strange thing happened. The house whirled around 2 or 3 times and rose slowly through the air. Dorothy felt as if she were going up in a balloon. The north and south winds met where the house stood and made it to the exact center of the cyclone. I guess this is where this picture is coming from. Wait, she's grabbing Toto by the ear. That must hurt. It's both for you. Nice bear ears, that's new to me. They're hamster ears. I made them for a Hamtaro Let's Play that I'm planning to record tonight, and that's why I'm not taking them off. Homie huddles, yes. Hi, Amadu, it's good to see you again. That's true. Well, I mean, I guess Toto has black fur on the bottom part of his body, but yeah, his face is brown. But the text said that Toto was totally a black dog. His face, yeah, his face is like, don't pull on my ear, bro. This hurts. I cry. Thank you so much for the resub. Happy 4 months. That dog's in danger. I know. Look at that face. That face is shook. I thought you were the lion from the book. We can pretend. Rawr, rawr. Maybe the text is colorblind. I know I am. I'm guessing maybe the illustrations were done after the book was written, and then maybe this is like combined together later on. Maybe. In the middle of a cyclone, the air is generally still, but the great pressure of the wind on every side of the house raised it up higher and higher until it was at the very top of the cyclone, and there it remained and was carried miles and miles away as easily as you could carry a feather. Chat, what would you do if all of a sudden there was a cyclone and then your house was just like, boop, unrooted from the ground, and you were just like, whoa, 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 in the air? What would you do? What would you do? Would I like a blaffle? Oh, blah. Blaffle? What's a blaffle? Would I like a waffle blankie redeem? If you would like to give me one, sure. You would just die. I'd enjoy the ride. Chat, you're giving up so easily. Panic. I will sing I Believe I Can Fly. I would grab a sheet or a blanket, and I would probably like bring the ends of it together and try to form a parachute. But then what do I do about my husky? I would strap my husky to my back. Oh my, here comes the redeems. Here they come. Here they come. Okay. Oh, there was a disenchant as well. Okay. Hi, Possum. Hi. Wait, hang on. Oh my. I'm part of the book now. I guess I'm part of the story now. Oh no, my house has been uprooted and I'm in a cyclone. Ah. Okay, there's that. I want to make myself smaller, so I don't want to block the text because I want you to be able to read the text as well. Is that small enough? that too small? I can't quite see. Okay, yeah, that ought to be small enough. Okay, let me move myself up here. Make sure I don't block the text. Thank you for the waffle blankie. Let me grab that. Let me grab that. Dun 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 dun. Oh my, I can't spell. Dun dun dun. I feel like this music is quite fitting. Okay, let me get my blanket. Big cone. Okay, we got the wiggle. Did someone take my glasses? Glasses and the bowl. I've been robbed. Oh my, now you can really see the cone today. Oh my goodness. I would die of natural causes. Oh. This book you are reading is the first edition. Oh, how cool! How cool! Yeah, I would grab a sheet or a blanket and I would try to make a parachute. Although I would have to find the confidence to land, but I assume it would be better to jump out than to wait for the house to come crashing down, you know? Yeah, I'm part of the story now. I am the Teddy Goodfish. Nova has redeemed the Whisper Redeem. Okay. Can you still hear me well enough through the microphone? Am I still loud enough? Yeah, I got robbed blind. Moonlight Boy, you're all adorable. Oh my god, is that the adorable Bloom? Okay, well anyway, it looks like our house is floating up in the air. It was very dark and the wind howled horribly around her, but Dorothy found she was riding quite easily. After the first few whirls around, and one other time when the house tipped badly, she felt as if she were being rocked gently like a baby in a cradle. Okay, I don't know about you, but that's not how I imagined that would feel. Toto, on the other hand, did not like it. He ran about the room, now here, now there, barking loudly. One, 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 woof, woof, woof. But Dorothy sat quite still on the floor and waited to see what would happen. Once Toto got too near the open trapdoor and fell in, and at first the little girl thought she had lost him. But as soon as she saw one of his ears sticking through the hole, for the strong pressure of the air was keeping him so that he could not fall, she crept to the hole, caught Toto by the ear, and dragged him into the room again. Afterwards, closing the trapdoor so that no more accidents could happen. Oh, that's where that picture came from. Imagine if she hadn't woken up because she was falling asleep. Toto could have been a goner right then and there. It would have been a very different story, don't you think? Hour after hour passed away, and slowly Dorothy got over her fright, but she felt quite lonely, and the wind shrieked so loudly all about her that she nearly became deaf. Oh, that sounds very uncomfortable. At first, she had wondered if she would be dashed to pieces when the house fell again, but as the hours passed and nothing terrible happened, she stopped worrying and resolved to wait calmly and see what the future would bring. At last, she crawled over the swaying floor to her bed and lay down upon it, and Toto followed and lay down beside her. In spite of the swaying of the house and the wailing of the wind, Dorothy soon closed her eyes and fell fast asleep. Oh my gosh! Welcome, readers! Hello, welcome. Someone redeemed whisper mode, so I'm whispering for another 2 minutes. But welcome, please get nice and cozy. We are having a little book club gathering today. Timekeeper raid, welcome. Freya, I hope you had a good stream. You were playing Teamfight Tactics, how did it go? I hope it went well. Also, to our readers, I am using a binaural mic today, and so if the shifting of the audio back and forth makes you feel uncomfortable, feel free to switch to your speakers. And if you're not using headphones and you do like the shifting of your audio, feel free to grab your headphones. I thought like you've had a very interesting day. Today we are reading The Wizard of Oz, so just a cozy read along and chatting about things along the way, so I hope you all get nice and cozy. Sopliff, Freya, Puente, welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a very good stay. Freya, if you need to rest and decompress, please feel free. Thank you so much for dropping by. As of right now, Dorothy is in her house that's like wah 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 wah. It's caught up in a cyclone and just flying around in the air. But honestly, she's kind of just vibing. In fact, it seems like Dorothy is falling asleep. But look at Toto. Look at how Toto is laying down on her. How cute is that? That's so adorable. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was chapter 1. Okay. Who is that? What does that say? Let Dorothy go to the city of Emerald. I don't know who that is, but they look kind of scary. Okay, we're exiting whisper mode in 3, 2, 1. Oh my. I think I'm gonna disable whisper mode for now because I don't know if my voice can sustain that while reading. Let me just toggle that really quick. And thank you for the redeem. I'm gonna take a little sip of water here, so if you have something to drink, please drink with me. Cheers! Oh, it's a munchkin. Really? Wait for one quick second. Clear my throat here. Oh yeah, it says right there, the council with the munchkins. Hello, Fluff. Welcome. No worries. She was awakened by a shock so sudden and severe that if Dorothy had not been lying on the soft bed, she might have been hurt. As it was, the jar made her catch her breath and wonder what had happened, and Toto put his cold little nose into her face and whined dismally. Dorothy sat up and noticed that the house was not moving, nor was it dark, for the bright sunshine came in at the window, flooding the little room. She sprang from her bed and with Toto at her heels, ran and opened the door. What time was it before they got caught up in the cyclone? I forget. Also, oh no, my foot. My foot has fallen asleep. Pins and needles. Let's stretch our footsies, chat. Let's stretch our footsies. Let's stretch. The little girl gave a cry of amazement and looked about her, her eyes growing bigger and bigger at the wonderful sights she saw. The cyclone had set the house down very gently for a cyclone in the midst of a country of marvelous beauty. There were lovely patches of green sward all about. What is sward? Is that like grass? Reeds? Fields? There were lovely patches of green sward all around, with stately trees bearing rich and luscious fruits. Banks of gorgeous flowers were on every hand, and birds with rare and brilliant plumage sang and fluttered in the trees and bushes. A little way off was a small brook, rushing and sparkling along the green banks, and murmuring in a voice very grateful to a little girl who had lived so long on the dry, gray prairies. All of a sudden, there's color! And they also printed the background of the illustration in green as well. Sward is an expanse of short grass. I see. Thank you. Look how much we're learning today, class. Very good. That'll be on the pop quiz, so please take notes. While she stood looking eagerly at the strange and beautiful sights, she noticed coming toward her a group of the queerest people she had ever seen. They were not as big as the grown folk she had always been used to, but neither were they very small. In fact, they seemed about as tall as Dorothy, who was a well-grown child for her age, although they were, so far as look goes, many years older. 3 were men and 1 a woman, and all were oddly dressed. They wore round hats that rose to a small point a foot above their heads, and with little bells around the brims that tinkled sweetly as they moved. The hats of the men were blue. The little woman's hat was white, and she wore a white gown that hung in plaits from her shoulders. Over it were sprinkled little stars that glistened in the sun like diamonds. The men's were dressed in blue of the same. shade as their hats, and wore well-polished boots with a deep roll of blue at the tops. If I stepped out of my house and saw them, I would run. They look so menacing. All of them? Like they look like they're gonna lead me into a house in the woods and then fatten me up and eat me, but I think that's a different story. Alright, chat, this is you. You are Dorothy. What you do? What do you do in this very moment? I like how one man doesn't have a beard and the other two do. Oh yeah, the one on the left doesn't have a beard, and then these two do. There's the little bells on their hats. She kind of looks like... The hat makes me feel like she's a witch. You would eat them all? Moonlight Boy is asserting dominance. Do you think I could punt one pretty far? You would punt them? Is eating jello while watching you bad? As long as it's not jellyfish, that's fine. I give the third man a beer. Where, Fluff? Did you just pull it out of your pocket? She's so sweaty. Hello, Jimmy. Hi, Thunder. I would run. I would book it. I would be out of there. I would pick up Total and I'd be like, I'm out. Chitty, goodbye. It's your hair. Oh, no. Let's see. The men, Dorothy thought, were about as old as Uncle Harry, for two of them had beards. But the little woman was doubtless much older. Her face was covered with wrinkles. Her hair was nearly white, and she walked rather stiffly. When these people drew near the house where Dorothy was standing in the doorway, they paused and whispered among themselves, as if afraid to come further. But the little old woman walked up to Dorothy, made a low bow, and said in a sweet voice, "You are most welcome, most noble sorceress, to the land of the Munchkins. We are all so grateful to you for having killed the wicked witch of the East, and for setting our people free from bondage." Dorothy listened to this speech with wonder. What could the little woman possibly mean by calling her a sorceress, and saying she had killed the wicked witch of the East? Dorothy was an innocent, harmless little girl who had been carried by a cyclone many miles from home, and she had never killed anything at all in her life. But the little woman evidently expected her to answer, so Dorothy said, with hesitation, "You are very kind, but there must be some mistake. I have not killed anything." "Your house did anyway," replied the little old woman with a laugh. "Ha ha ha! And that is the same thing, see?" She continued, pointing to the corner of the house. "There are her two shoes still sticking out from under a block of wood." Dorothy looked and gave a little cry of fright. There indeed, just under the corner of the great beam the house rested, 2 feet were sticking out, shod in silver shoes with pointed toes. Oh dear, said Dorothy, clasping her hands together in dismay. "The house must have fallen on her. Whatever shall we do?" "There is nothing to be done," said the little woman calmly. "But who was she?" said Dorothy. "She was the wicked She was the... It's kind of hard to see the text. She was the wicked witch of the East, and as I said, she has held all the Munchkins in bondage for many years, making them slave for her night and day. Now they are all set free and are grateful to you for the favor." "Who are the Munchkins?" inquired Dorothy. "They are the people who live in this land of the East, where the wicked witch ruled." "Are you a Munchkin?" asked Dorothy. "No, but I am their friend, although I lived in the land of the North. When they saw the witch of the East was dead, the Munchkin sent a swift messenger to me and came at once." Oh wait, she's not a Munchkin, she's the witch of the North. Hang on here. Voice change. "No, but I am their friend. Although I live in the land of the North, when they saw the witch of the East was dead, the Munchkin sent a swift messenger to me, and I came at once. I am the witch of the North." "Oh, gracious!" cried Dorothy. "Are you a real witch?" "Yes, indeed," answered the woman. "But I am a good witch, and the people love me. I am not as powerful as the wicked witch I am not as powerful as the wicked witch was who ruled here, or should have set the people free myself. But I thought all the witches were wicked, said the girl, who was half frightened at facing a real witch. Oh no, that is a great mistake. There were only 4 witches in all the land of Oz, and 2 of them, those who lived in the north and south, are good witches. I know this is true, for I am one of them myself, and cannot be mistaken. For those who dwelt in the east and the west, For those who dwelt in the east and the west were indeed wicked witches. But now that you have killed one of them, there is but one wicked witch in all the land of Oz, the one who lives in the west. I'm doing good, Jimmy. Welcome to the book club. Ever see a munchkin go to space you want to? No. You forgot about the witch? I forgot that the house landed on the witch. That's awkward. The wicked witch was... It's okay. Can the witches beat Goku though? I don't know. Apparently they're quite wicked. But, said Dorothy after a moment's thought, Aunt Em has told me that the witches were all dead, years and years ago. Who is Aunt Em? Inquired the little old woman. She is my aunt who lives in Kansas, where I came from. The Witch of the North seemed to think for a time with her head bowed and her eyes upon the ground. Then she looked up and said, I do not know where Kansas is, for I have never heard that country mentioned before. But tell me, is it a civilized country? Oh, yes, replied Dorothy. Then that accounts for it. In the civilized countries, I believe there are no witches left, nor wizards, nor sorceresses, nor magicians. But you see, the land of Oz has never been civilized, for we are cut off from all of the rest of the world. Therefore, we still have witches and wizards among us. Hi, Squirrel! When Kansas is a country... Has chat, raise your hands if you've been to the country of Kansas before. I'm gonna take another sippy of water. If you have something to drink, please drink with me, chat. Cheers. Where was the last line? Da-dun, 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 da. Who are the wizards? Asked Dorothy. Oz himself is the great wizard, answered the witch, sinking her voice to a whisper. He is more powerful than all of the rest of us together. He lives in the city of emeralds. You've been to the city of England? I've been to the Principality of Oklahoma. That's the closest I've been. Never had the pleasure. Kansas is pretty cool. We went there for a competition. Oh, how neat. I would love to go. I've never been. Welcome back, Numa. Dorothy was going to ask another question, but just then the Munchkins, who had been standing silently by, gave a loud shout and pointed to the corner of the house where the Wicked Witch had been lying. Also, I think I feel my magic coming back. Hehehe. Oh my gosh, I'm big. Oh my. Oh, don't look. Don't. Oh god. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Wait, where'd my book go? Excuse me? Who took my book? Hey, yo, who took my book? Huh? Who took my book? Oh my gosh, the bubbles blew the book away. Hang on. Oh my, I must have dropped my book onto the floor. Let me pick it up here. Let me just dust it off before we get reading again and switch to okay, nothing happened. Where were we? Let's see. My ears, it's okay. It's alright. Okay, where were we? They were screaming, right? Yes. Wait. Where the witch had been lying. Okay, there we go. Da-da. Okay. "What is it?" asked the little old woman, and looked and began to laugh. The feet of the dead witch had disappeared entirely, and nothing was left but the silver shoes. She was so old, explained the Witch of the North, that she dried up quickly in the sun. That is the end of her. "But the silver shoes are yours, and you shall have them to wear." I would not do that. That, seems very uncomfortable. Chat, would you take the shoes? I would not. That seems messed. I think, I believe in the movie they made them red because it was the first film, that was in color. And so they wanted the shoes to be a statement piece, but, canonically the shoes are silver. "The Witch of the East was proud of those silver shoes," said one of the Munchkins. "And there is some new charm connected with them, but what it is we never knew. Dorothy carried these shoes into the house and placed them on the table. Then she came out again to the Munchkins and said, 'I'm anxious to get back to Aunt and Uncle, for I'm sure they will worry about me. Can you help me find my way?'" Why is she carrying the shoes like, "I have dinner, here you go"? I believe in the movie they were red, yeah. The Munchkins and the witch first looked at one another and then at Dorothy and shook their heads. "At the east, not far from here," said one, "there is a great desert and none could live to cross it." "It is the same at the south," said another, "for I have been there and had seen it. The south is the country of the Quadlings." "I am told," said the third man, "that it is the same at the west, and that country where the Winkies live is ruled by the Wicked Witch of the West, who would make you her slave if you passed her way." "The north is my home," said the old lady, "and at its edge is the great desert that surrounds this land of Oz. I'm afraid, my dear, you will have to live with us." They're so casual about this. Dorothy began to sob at this, for she felt lonely among all these strange people. Her tears seemed to grieve the kind-hearted Munchkins, for they immediately took out their handkerchiefs and began to weep also. As for the little old woman, she took off her cap and balanced the point on the end of her nose, while she counted 1, 2, 3 in a solemn voice. At once, the cap changed to a slate, on which was written in big white chalk marks, "Let Dorothy go to the City of Emeralds." The little old woman took the slate from her nose, and having read the words on it, asked, "Is your name Dorothy, my dear?" Interesting. I changed the voice of Quad, hello Quad, thank you so much for the resub. Happy 3 months. I'm doing great. How are you? The image of the Witch of the North in my head is of Glinda from Wicked, which is why I'm not doing an old lady voice from her. I've never seen Wicked the musical, but it's on my bucket list. I really would love to see that musical someday. I'm glad you're doing well, Quad. "Yes," answered the child, looking up and drying her tears. "Then you must go to the City of Emeralds. Perhaps Oz will help you." "Where is the city?" asked Dorothy. It is exactly in the center of the country, and it is ruled by Oz, the great wizard I told you of. "Is he a good man?" inquired the girl anxiously. "He is a good wizard. Whether he is a man or not, I cannot tell, for I have never seen him." "How can I get there?" asked Dorothy. "You must walk. It is a long journey through a country that is sometimes pleasant and sometimes dark and terrible. However, I will use all the magic arts I know of to keep you from harm." "Won't you go with me?" pleaded the girl, who had begun to look upon the little old woman as her only friend. "No, I cannot do that," she replied, "but I will give you my kiss, and no one will dare injure a person who has been kissed by a witch of the north." You just put on your earphones? Hello, Numa. Welcome to 3D audio. What's next? Silver-colored cereal. You listened to the musical? I haven't listened to it yet, but I love Defying Gravity. I want the full experience one day of going to see Wicked and experiencing everything for the first time and just being like, wow, amazing, because I hear it's amazing. The road to the City of Emeralds is paved with yellow bricks, said the witch, so you cannot miss it. When you get to Oz, do not be afraid of him, but tell your story and ask him to help you. Goodbye, my dear. That's it? That's all the homie help we get? That's it? The three Munchkins bowed low to her and wished her a pleasant journey, after which they walked away through the trees. The witch gave Dorothy a friendly little nod, whirled around on her left heel 3 times, and straightway disappeared. Is the text cutting off a bit? And straightway disappeared. Much to the surprise of little Toto, who barked 111 111 111 Marmar read. Hi Marmar, welcome readers. Get nice and cozy. Today we're having a read along of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And we do have binaural audio today, so if you enjoy that, please feel free to put your headphones on. And if it makes you feel a little bit uneasy, I recommend you listen through speakers. But welcome. How was your stream today? You played some Scarlet Nexus. How did it go? Yeah, it's the Marzan who made the amazing music that we were listening to the other day. Yes. Welcome, Raiders. I'm gonna take another sip of water, so please drink with me, chat. Cheers! Hi, Vontel! Welcome! How are you? Okay. What has happened so far? A young Dorothy has been swept up by a cyclone, and her house landed in... What's the name of this world? Oz? Her house has landed in Oz. She landed on top of a witch who is now dead, and now she has to find her way home. Oh, I think I need another sip of water. Let's drink again, chat. Cheers! The story's going well. Apparently this is a scan of the first edition of the book, and it feels so whimsical and magical with all the drawings right on the pages with the text as well. I wish they still made storybooks like this. Wouldn't that be amazing? That'd be incredible. But the witch has told us that we must follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Catch up and friend, welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a titty good stay. How are you? Please join us and get nice and cozy. Okay, so the good witch gave us a kiss, and she was like, there's your homie help, this will protect you. And now we're like, okay, I guess so. That's so cool that you're reading an actual scan of the book. Yeah, I was really lucky that I was able to find this, and it was on a government site, so I'm assuming it's safe to show. Dorothy is off to see the wizard. Oh, we landed in Munchkin Land. Thank you. So now we're gonna go see the wizard. Chapter 3, How Dorothy Saved the Scarecrow. Wait, is that what we were wearing before? Hang on. That's not what we were wearing. When did we get a wardrobe change? I liked the first dress better. Where did we get the outfit change? Welcome. It's good to have you. When Dorothy was left alone, she began to feel hungry. Oh, what a mood, me. So she went to the cupboard and cut herself some bread, which she spread with butter. She gave some to Toto, and taking a pail from the shelf, she carried it down to the little brook and filled it with clear, sparkling water. Toto ran over to the trees and began to bark at the birds sitting there. 111, 11, woof, 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 woof. Dorothy went to get him and saw such delicious fruit hanging from the branches that she gathered some of it, finding it just what she wanted to help out to help out her breakfast. Are you telling me she was just like, yeah, no, that's all cool, but it's snack time. Let me just go back in the house and whip up some breakfast. Are you kidding? How would you have the energy to be hungry after all of that? Oh, Dorothy. But you know what? Relatable. Relatable. Traumatic things can be quite hunger-inducing, I suppose. Then she went back to the house, and having helped herself and Toto to a good drink of the cool, clear water, she set about making ready for the journey to the City of Emeralds. Okay, she was just powering up for the journey. Also, Marmar, if you need to take a break after your stream, please feel free. Thank you so much for dropping by. Operated Bloom, welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a chitty good stay. How are you? Traumatic things make you hungry too. What do you think Steve from Minecraft would do if he was in the Wizard of Oz? That's a good question. I'm coming for her fashion. I mean, this one looks so frumpy compared to... I mean, I guess that's also kind of frumpy. And then, like, here was red. What is happening? Does she have a magic dress? Yeah. Dorothy, oh, here it is. Dorothy had only one other dress, but that happened to be clean and was hanging on a peg beside her bed. It was, okay, I don't know how to say this word. Is it gingham? Is that how you say it? Gingham? Gingham? It's gingham, right? It was gingham with checks of white and blue, and although the blue was somewhat faded with many washings, it was still a pretty frock. The girl washed herself carefully, dressed herself in the clean gingham, and tied her pink sunbonnet on her head. She took a little basket and filled it with bread from her cupboard, laying a white cloth over the top. Then she looked down at her feet and noticed how old and worn her shoes were. Gangnam? It is gingham. I remember when I was little, I would see that word and I would be like, Jin-chan? They surely will never... Huh? Ah, she was looking at the shoes. Ah, they surely will never do for a long journey, Toto, she said. And Toto looked up into her face with his little black eyes and wagged his tail to show he knew what she meant. Toto's like, yeah, I feel it. At that moment, Dorothy saw lying on the table the silver shoes that had belonged to the Witch of the East. I wonder if they will fit me, she said to Toto. They would be just they would be just the thing to take a long walk in, for they could not wear out. So red high heels, No Nikes in your closet? Although this does date back to 1900. Hello, Priest, how are you? It's good to see you again. She took off her old leather shoes and tried on the silver ones, which fitted her as well as if they had been made for her. Finally, she picked up her basket. Come along, Toto, she said. We will go to the Emerald City and ask the Great Oz how to get back to Kansas again. She closed the door, locked it, and put the key carefully... I need to scooch this over. I can't see all the words. Carefully into the pocket of her dress, and so with Toto trotting along soberly behind her, she started on her journey. There were several roads nearby, but it did not take her long to find one paved with yellow brick. Within a short time, she was walking briskly toward the Emerald City, her silver shoes tinkling merrily on the hard yellow roadbed. The sun shone brightly, and the birds sang sweet, and Dorothy did not feel nearly as bad as she might think a little girl would, who had been suddenly whisked away from her own country and set down in the midst of a strange land. The look of pure horror on the face of the... It does look like a face! You're right, the house is shook. It looks like a person, it really does. Michelle, welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a chitty good stay. How are you? Okay. What a house. Not exactly... Wait, no, that's not her house. That's a Munchkin home, I'm assuming? Let's see. She was surprised as she walked along to see how pretty the country was about her. There were neat fences at the sides of the road, painted a dainty blue color, and beyond them were fields of grain and vegetables in abundance. Evidently, the Munchkins were good farmers and able to raise large crops. Once in a while, she would pass a house, and the people came out to look at her and bow low as she went by. For everyone knew she had been the means of destroying the Wicked Witch and setting them free from bondage. She's a hero! Looks like the door from Alice in Wonderland. Oh, kind of, yeah, I can see it. Hi, Grandma, how are you? The houses of the Munchkins were odd-looking dwellings, for each was round with a big dome for a roof, and all were painted blue, for in this country of the East, blue was their favorite color. Towards the evening, when Dorothy was tired with her long walk and began to wonder where she would pass the night, she came to a house rather larger than the rest. On the green lawn before it, many men and women were dancing. 5 little fiddlers played as loudly as possible, and the people were laughing and singing while a big table nearby was loaded with delicious fruits, nuts, pies, and cakes, and many other good things to eat. The people greeted Dorothy kindly and invited her to supper and to pass the night with them, for this was the home of one of the richest Munchkins in the land, and his friends were gathered with him to celebrate their freedom from the bondage of the Wicked Witch. Dorothy ate a hearty supper and was waited upon by the rich Munchkin himself, whose name was Buck. Then she sat down upon a settle, and watched the people dance. When Bach saw her silver shoes, he said, "You must be a great sorceress." "Why?" asked the girl. "Because you wear silver shoes and have killed the Wicked Witch. Besides, you have white in your frock, and only witches and sorcerers wear white." Oh my. Michelle, I hope you have a good rest. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining. So she's with the richest Munchkin. Oh, this is cute. Wait, she has a little flower headband. Is that the moon? The moon has is that a face? Right, these are eyes, and a nose, and a mouth. Wait, these Munchkin outfits are super cute. Wow, and I thought Teletubbies had a scary sun, but look at that moon. Storytime, Gia, our favorite bean sprout. Please have a good lurk. Thank you. We love you. You're getting can we enhance? Let's enhance. Enhance. Oh my. That's a face only a mother could love. If this moon was looking down on me, I'd be like, I'm going home. Peace. I'll see you guys. I'm leaving. Okay. Alright. Oh no, what percentage was I at before? Now I don't remember. Was it at 200? Oh no, that's too big. Too big. We'll keep it at that. Oh wait, look at the one in the corner. It's playing is that a fiddle? The moon is unavoidable. What's a tourist mask doing here? I remember reading a bunch of books from the Oz series when I was a kid. There was a series? I didn't know. Also, good night, Michelle. This is why you don't drink the seawater, kid. He looks like an old anime character that is smug. Oh my. I really like this dress though. That's so cute. My dress is blue and white checked, said Dorothy, smoothing out the wrinkles in it. It is kind of you to wear that, said Bach. Blue is the color of the Munchkins, and white is the witch color, so we know you are a friendly witch. Dorothy did not know how to say this, for all the people seemed to think her a witch, and she knew very well she was only an ordinary little girl who had come by the chance of a cyclone into a strange land. When she had tired watching the dancing, Bach led her into the house, where he gave her a room with a pretty bed in it. The sheets were made of blue cloth, and Dorothy slept soundly in them till morning, with Toto curled up on the blue rug beside her. Oh my god, it's a baby Munchkin! It's a Munchkin! She ate a hearty breakfast and watched a wee Munchkin baby who played with Toto and pulled his tail. Cancelled. Wait, can I make marks on here? How dare you pull Toto's tail? Unbelievable. That's mean. Mean. Just plain rude. Toto... Oh, where are we? She ate a hearty breakfast and watched a wee Munchkin baby who played with Toto and pulled his tail and crowed and laughed in a way that greatly amused Dorothy. Dorothy? Dorothy, this is your dog? Can you... Oh. Hang on. Dorothy, this is your dog? Can you protect your dog, please? Why are you just laughing? I don't like this. Toto was a fine curiosity to all the people, for they had never seen a dog before. How far is it to the Emerald City? The girl asked. I do not know, answered Bach gravely, for I have never been there. It is better for people to keep away from Oz unless they have business with him. But it is a long way to the Emerald City, and it will take you many days. The country here is rich and pleasant, but you must pass through rough and dangerous places before you reach the end of your journey. This worried Dorothy a little, but she knew that only the great Oz could help her get to Kansas again, so she bravely resolved not to turn back. She bade her friends goodbye and again started along the road of yellow brick. When she had gone several miles, she thought she would stop to rest, and so climbed to the top of the fence beside the road and sat down. There was a great cornfield beyond the fence, and not far away she saw a scarecrow placed high on a pole to feed the birds from the ripe corn. Oh no, to keep the birds from the ripe corn. Dorothy leaned her chin upon her hand and gazed thoughtfully at the scarecrow. Its head was a small sack stuffed with straw, with eyes, nose, and mouth painted on it to represent a face. An old pointed blue hat that had belonged to the same Munchkin was perched on this head, and the rest of the figure was a blue suit of clothes, worn and faded, which had also been stuffed with straw. On the feet were some old boots with blue tops, such as every man wore in this country, and the figure was raised above the stalks of corn by means of the pole stuck up its back. While Dorothy was looking earnestly into the queer painted face of the scarecrow, she was surprised. That face is just... That face! Oh! The scarecrow is smaller than because in the movie it's quite... Oh, those fingies. Wait, what are those fingies made out of? Oh, they're just gloves. They're just gloves, right? I've never made a scarecrow before, to be honest. Thank you for the hydrate redeem fluff. Please drink with me, chat. Cheers. Also, hello, Joker. Welcome, Joker. How are you? Moon, don't be afraid. I'm friendly lock store. Oh, no. Let's drink, chat. Cheers. And thank you for the stretch redeem as well. Baby no longer exists to me. I can't believe she saw that baby pulling Toto's tail and it was just like, funny. Okay, those are creepy looking hands. Alright. One of the eyes slowly winked at her. She thought she must have been mistaken at first, for none of the scarecrows in Kansas ever wink, but presently the figure nodded its head to her in a friendly way. Then she climbed down from the fence and walked up to it, while Toto ran around the pole and barked. "Good day," said the scarecrow in a rather husky voice. "Did I stretch? Let's stretch again." FBI, open up. Okay. "Good day," said the scarecrow in a rather husky voice. "Did you speak?" asked the girl in wonder. "Certainly," answered the scarecrow. "How do you do?" "I'm pretty well, thank you," replied Dorothy politely. "How do you do?" I'm not feeling well, said the Scarecrow with a smile, for it is very tedious being perched up here night and day to scare away crows. Can't you get down? Asked Dorothy. No, for this pole is stuck up my back. If you will please take away the pole, I shall be greatly obliged to you. Okay, chat. Okay, chat. This is you. This is you. And you meet the Scarecrow. And the Scarecrow is like, hey, yo, let me down from this pole. Do you do it? I wouldn't. My parents taught me stranger danger. Yeah, my parents taught me stranger danger. I'd be like, bye-bye, I'll be going over here. Monkey, welcome to the booth. I hope you have a chatty good stay. Shizu just If Shizu was Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, it would just be Shizu meeting a bunch of people and then making that sweat emote and then like slowly backing away like that one Homer Simpson gif. You would call the police. Hey there, free me from my shackles. Sounds like freeing some sort of evil. Exactly. Like, I don't know you. I don't know your life. Dorothy's such an innocent and naive child. Psst, hey. You wanna let me down? Person I just met for the first time. I'd shake his hand and get an exercise. You know what I would do? I would take the pole. I would carry the Scarecrow around on the pole to give a sus and see if the Scarecrow can be trusted or not. Eat him after. He's clearly a criminal. He's up there to pay for. Oh no! I would not. I would rather run away. It's a Scarecrow. What's the worst that could happen? You never know. There's a lot of weird magical things happening in this land, you know? New sleep paralysis demon unlocks. Oh no. I wouldn't ask to get down the Joker. Now, Joker, remember, it's a family-friendly stream. Those poor crofts are gonna get trampled by crows now. That's true. Wait, you're right. Even though she freed the crow, the Scarecrow, that kind of sabotages the Munchkins, no? I mean, I guess they could just make a new one, but looks like the Grinch, kind of. You were obsessed with the movie when you were little? It's kind of fun seeing what the little differences are between the book and the movie. If I see something talk but it's an item, I will run. I think that's good judgment on your part, Umaru. Okay, let's see. Dorothy reached up both arms and lifted the figure off the pole. For being stuffed with straw, it was quite light. Thank you very much, said the Scarecrow when he had been set down on the ground. I feel like a new man. Dorothy was puzzled at this, for it sounded queer to hear a stuffed man speak and to see him bow and walk along beside her. Who are you? Asked the Scarecrow when he had stretched himself and yawned. And where are you going? My name is Dorothy, said the girl, and I'm going to the Emerald City to ask the Great Oz to send me back to Kansas. Where is the Emerald City? He inquired. And who is Oz? Why don't you know? She returned in surprise. Dorothy, you've been here. You've been here for a whole 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, you don't know the Wizard of Oz? Well, poo-poo to you. Ma'am. Why don't you know? She returned in surprise. No, indeed, I don't know anything. You see, I am stuffed, so I have no brains at all, he answered sadly. Oh, said Dorothy, I'm awfully sorry for you. Do you think, he asked, if I go to the Emerald City with you, that the Great Oz could give me some brains? I cannot tell, she returned, but you may come with me if you like. If Oz will not give you any brains, you will be no worse than you are now. That is true, said the Scarecrow. You see, he continued confidentially, I don't mind my legs and arms and body being stuffed because I cannot get hurt. If anyone treads on my toes or sticks a pin into me, it doesn't matter, for I can't feel it. But I do not want people to call me a fool. And if my head stays stuffed with straw instead of with brains as yours is, how am I ever to know anything? Can you relate to the Scarecrow? Yes, because I am a jellyfish. And, naturally, jellyfish don't have brains. But when I was enchanted and became a real girl, I picked up a few brain cells, and it was quite it changes you. It changes a person, you know, when you pick up a few brain cells. And so I understand why the Scarecrow wants a brain. Because I quite enjoy my brain cells now. Imagine not feeling pain in your toes if you stubbed them. That would be great power. Dun, 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 dun. You're not getting bubbles? Have I been disenchanted? Ruh-roh, did I close my... Hang on. Bubbles? What bubbles? Oh, you mean the channel points. That's strange. You should be. Maybe try refreshing your page? Hello, Briggs! We are reading The Wizard of Oz today, and Dorothy has just met the Scarecrow and freed the Scarecrow from his pole. Hi, Aiden! Welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a pretty good day. How are you? I'm gonna drink again, chat, so if you've got something to drink, please drink with me. Cheers! Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. Good work today, Briggs! Get nice and cozy. Give me a sec. Okay. Where were we? I understand how you feel, said the little girl, who was truly sorry for him. If you will come with me, I'll ask Oz to do all that he can for you. Thank you, he answered gratefully. They walked back to the road. Dorothy helped him over the fence, and they started along the path of yellow brick for Emerald City. Jordy and Chaotic, welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a titty good day. How are you? Toto did not like this addition to the party. At first, he smelled around the stuffed man as if he suspected there might be a nest of rats in the straw, and he often growled in an unfriendly way at the Scarecrow. Grr, one, grr. Don't mind Toto, said Dorothy to her new friend. He never bites. Oh, I'm not afraid, replied the Scarecrow. He can't hurt the straw. Do let me carry that basket for you. I shall not mind it, for I can't get tired. I'll tell you a secret, he continued as he walked along. There is only one thing I am afraid of. What is that? Asked Dorothy. The Munchkin farmer who made you? No, answered the Scarecrow. It's a lighted match. Oh, that's the end of the chapter. Oh, how cute! Look at this little trio. They're so cute. Adorable. Alright, so there's her first friend. You know, Toto has good sense. I'm glad that Toto is sus. Because Dorothy is just like, hey, yo, you want to join me on my journey? So I'm glad Toto is like a little bit cautious, you know? Toto has some stranger danger sensitivity. As Frankenstein wisely said in Hotel Transylvania, fire bad. Sussy. Who are these people now? Oh no, wait! Is the Scarecrow missing an eye? The Scarecrow lives in... Is this the culprit? Is this the person who took the eye? Let's find out. After a few hours, the road began to be rough, and the walking grew so difficult that the Scarecrow often stumbled over the yellow brick, which were here very uneven. Sometimes, indeed, they were broken or missing altogether, leaving holes that Toto jumped across and Dorothy walked around. As for the Scarecrow, having no brains, he walked straight ahead and so stepped into the holes and fell at full length on the hard bricks. It never hurt him, however, and Dorothy would pick him up and set him upon his feet again, while he joined her in laughing merrily at his own mishap. The farms were not nearly so well cared for as they were farther back. There were fewer houses and fewer fruit trees, and the farther they went, the more dismal and lonesome the country became. At noon, they sat down by the roadside near a little brook, and Dorothy opened her basket and got out some bread. She offered a piece to the Scarecrow, but he refused. "I am never hungry," he said, "and it is a lucky thing I am not." Is it cutting off for you all? No, I think you can see everything you need to see. For my mouth is only painted, and if I should cut a hole in it so I could eat, the straw I am stuffed with would come out, and that would spoil the shape of my head. Oh, oh, that's so sad. I don't know if I should think that's cute or if I should think that's sad. Hi, Simon. Come on over. Welcome, welcome. How are you? I can't believe that I see what I did there. They were actually painting. Oh, I see. You're right. There's a canvas and a paintbrush. Ah, I see. I see. Also, why is this highlighter so thick? I mean, I guess it's the right size for highlighting. Where am I? Dorothy saw at once that this was true, so she only nodded and went on eating her bread. "Tell me something about yourself and the country you came from," said the Scarecrow, when she had finished her dinner. So she told him all about Kansas, and how gray everything was there, and how the cyclone had carried her to this queer land of Oz. The Scarecrow listened carefully and said, "I cannot understand why you wish to leave this beautiful country and go back to the dry, gray place you call Kansas. That is because you have no brains." Yo, Dorothy, you dropping a disc tape right now? No matter how dreary and gray our homes are, we are people of flesh and blood. We, people of flesh and blood, would rather live there than in any other country, be it ever so beautiful. There's no place like home. Okay, let's think about this for a moment, chat. Can we chalk up her rudeness to her being young? 'Cause, you know, it takes you a while to grow a filter. I can't believe she just told the Scarecrow, like, of course, you don't get it, 'cause you don't have a brain. Kids be a mess. Wait, how old is Dorothy again? I forget already. How old is Dorothy? I need to know. Does anyone remember? How old is Dorothy? Oh, in the book, they actually never state her age. In the movie, she's between 11 to 13. Huh. So we don't actually know how old Dorothy is. Maybe the Scarecrow ain't the one without a brain. Fluff! Fluff clapped back. Fluff clapped back. That's wild. Coming from a 20-year-old with 3 siblings under the age of 10, it is that. Let's just guess that she could be 33. For shame. In the story mode of LEGO Dimensions, Batman thought the Scarecrow was one of the arch nemesis of the same name. Silly Batman. She's 12, she's 4, she could be anything. Alright, I'm just gonna guess that she's about... Let's go back to the picture. She looks quite young here. I'm gonna say like 8 to 10. I'm gonna say 8 to 10 is my guess. She's at least 1. Yeah, I think you're onto something there. what's happening? Yo, Toto! Toto is like... Dude. Toto is like, look, you've had like 3 meals since we've been here. And I've had 0 meals. Do you see Toto? Toto is like, hit me up with some of that bread. Stop being greedy. She's a newborn. A very short 40-year-old. This is so cute though. Look at them. They're like by the riverbank. That's adorable. Wait, Toto hasn't eaten at all. Dorothy. Dorothy, come on. Do better. There's no place like home. There it is. There's the catchphrase. The Scarecrow sighed. Of course I cannot understand it, he said. If your heads were stuffed with straw like mine, you would probably all live in beautiful places. And then Kansas would have no people at all. Hang on, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so we can see better. It is fortunate for Kansas that you have brains. Whose sassy child is this? Her young appearance is thanks to her impeccable skin routine. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Hello, SMH. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Kansas. It is story time, Chi. And hello, son. Welcome to the book club. Let's see. I lost my spot again. Ah. Won't you tell me a story while we are resting? Asked the child. The Scarecrow looked at her reproachfully and answered, My life has been so short that I really know nothing whatever. I was only made a day before yesterday. Oh, I was only made day before yesterday. What happened in the world before that time is all unknown to me. Luckily, when the farmer made my head, one of the first things he did was to paint my ears so that I heard what was going on. There was another Munchkin with him, and the first thing I heard was the farmer saying, How do you like those ears? They aren't straight, answered the other. Never mind, said the farmer. They are ears just the same, which was true enough. Ah, so this is from the Scarecrow's creation. Ah, I see, I understand now. Never mind, said the farmer. They are ears just the same, which was true enough. Now I'll make the eyes, said the farmer. So he painted my right eye, and as soon as it was finished, I found myself looking at him and everything around me with a great deal of curiosity, for this was my first glimpse of the world. Aw, Chi, please get nice and cozy. Have you read the story before, son? It's my first time reading this story, so I'm having a lot of fun. Oh, yes, you are. I always say that everyone is always welcome to fall asleep during my streams because I like for this to be a good place for you to stop by after a long day. So if you need to get some rest and relaxation, please feel free. I would be honored. That's a rather pretty eye, remarked the Munchkin, who was watching the farmer. Blue paint is just the color for the eyes. I think I'll make the other a little bigger, said the farmer. And when the second eye was done, I could see much better than before. Then he made my nose and my mouth, but I did not speak because at that time I didn't know what a mouth was for. I had the fun of watching them make my body and my arms and my legs, and when they fastened on my head, at last I felt very proud, for I thought I was just as good a man as anyone. I would be terrified. Our English teacher read this back in high school. Oh, how cute! Oh, we're happy to have you now, friend. Let's see. This fellow will scare the crows fast enough, said the farmer. He looks just like a man. Why, he is a man, said the other, and I quite agreed with him. The farmer carried me under his arm to the cornfield and set me up on a tall stick where he found me. He and his friends soon after walked away and left me alone. I did not like to be deserted this way, so I tried to walk after them, but my feet would not touch the ground, and I was forced to stay on that pole. It was a lonely life to lead, for I had nothing to think of, having been made such a while before. Many crows and other birds flew into the cornfield, but as soon as they saw me, they flew away again, thinking I was a munchkin, and this pleased me and made me feel that I was quite an important person. Aw, that's so sweet. By and by, an old crow flew near me, and after looking at me, oh, that face. Quaking. After looking at me carefully, he perched upon my shoulder and said, I wonder if that farmer thought to fool me in this clumsy manner. Any crow of sense could see that you were only stuffed with straw. Then he hopped down at my feet and ate all the corn he wanted. The other birds, seeing he was not harmed by me, came to eat the corn too. So in a short time, there was a great flock about me. Oh no! They were like homies gather up, and he was like, no, I'm trying my best. I'm doing my job. Teddy bird, technically this is Polyun bird. I'm a pigeon. I felt sad at this, for it showed I was not such a good scarecrow after all. Oh. But the old crow comforted me, saying, if you only had brains in your head, you would be as good a man as any of them, and a better man than some of them. Brains are the only thing worth having in this world, no matter whether one is a crow or a man. After the crows had gone, I thought this over and decided I would try hard to get some brains. By good luck, you came along and pulled me off the stake, and from what you say, I am sure the Great Oz will give me brains as soon as we get to the Emerald City. I hope so, said Dorothy earnestly, since you seem anxious to have them. Did the crow just pull like an omega big brain move and was like, if I tell the Scarecrow to get a brain, it'll leave, and then we can all feast freely without a care in the world. There are so many crows at my college campus. Scarecrow, tell them to go to my campus because we like the crows. Aww. I'm working as fast as I can. Aww. Blitz, thank you so much for this chat team. Let's unshrimp. Posture check. Crows be playing 4D chess for real. Yeah. Oh. Actually, give me a second here. I wanna, I'm feeling self-conscious about mic puffs, so I'm gonna turn on my monitor here. Okay. Tag yourself. Which crow are you? I am... Which crow am I? They're kind of all the same. I'll be the short one. That's me. Big brain crow. Omega big brain crow. Okay. Well, said the girl, let us go. And she handed the basket to the Scarecrow. There were no fences at all by the roadside now, and the land was rough and untilled. Towards evening, they came to a great forest where the trees grew so big and close together that their branches met over the road of yellow brick. It was almost dark under the trees, for the branches shut out the daylight, but the travelers did not stop and went on into the forest. You're the one on your left. You're the one on the left? Perfect. Lamar, welcome to the bloom. I hope you have... Lamar! Okay, thank you for that. Lamar, welcome. It's good to have you. Please get nice and cozy. We're following the yellow brick road. If this road goes in, it must come out, said the Scarecrow. And as the Emerald City is at the other end of the road, we must go wherever it leads us. Anyone would know that. Why is she so mean? That's not just me, right? Doesn't that sound rude? She's like, well, anyone would know that. If only you had a brain. Anyone would know that, said Dorothy. Certainly, that is why I know it, returned the Scarecrow. If it required brains to figure it out, I never should have said it. After an hour or so, the light faded away, and they found themselves stumbling along in the darkness. Dorothy could not see at all, but Toto could, for some dogs see very well in the dark. And the Scarecrow declared he could see as well as by day. Let's try again. And the Scarecrow declared he could see as well as by day. Ah, I see. So she took hold of his arm and managed to get along fairly well. "If you see any house or any place where we can pass the night," she said, "you must tell me, for it is very uncomfortable walking in the dark." Okay, she has some common sense. Soon after, the Scarecrow stopped. "I see a little cottage at the right of us," he said, "built of logs and branches. Should we go there?" Dun, 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 dun. "Yes, indeed," answered the child. "I am all tired out." So the Scarecrow led her through the trees until they reached the cottage, and Dorothy entered and found a bed of dried leaves in one corner. She lay down at once, and with Toto beside her, soon fell into sound sleep. The Scarecrow, who was never tired, stood up in another corner and waited patiently until morning came. So let's do our best to stay on topic in chat, please and thank you. Is this the cottage? Wait, let's take a closer sus. Let's take a look. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to change the page. Let's take a sus. Alright, chat. Would you stop there? Would you spend the night? That was kinda... haunted? Foreboding? Sus? Cozy as heck? Not even for chocolate. Remember, stranger danger. It looks like a Resident Evil house. Oh no. You would go in, Numa? I mean, the options are, it's either this or the dark. So, I mean, I guess if it's this or the dark, I don't know. It looks like my grandma's house. Looks like a cool place in the shade. Okay. If anything, it would make for a great YouTube video. I used to really like watching YouTube videos where people would like visit abandoned homes or like malls and stuff. I found that very interesting. Just light it on fire. Oh no, but then we're starting forest fires. I think it might be dark inside too. That's very true. We don't know if there's like any candles or anything in there. How long is this book? 308 pages. Okay, okay. It's the Tin Man. How cute. Wait, who's this? Who's that? Who is this random face in the sky? Is that a... Who is that? This... Someone holding an axe and following Toto looks rather, menacing. It's that Iron Man. Alright, let's see here. When Dorothy awoke, the sun was shining through the trees, and Toto had long been out chasing birds and squirrels. She sat up and looked around her. There was the Scarecrow still standing patiently in his corner, waiting for her. "We must go and search for water," she said to him. "Why do you want water?" he asked. "To wash my face clean after the dust of the road, and to drink so the dry bread will not stick in my throat." "It must be inconvenient to be made of flesh," said the Scarecrow thoughtfully, "for you must sleep and eat and drink. However, you have brains, and it is worth a lot of bother to be able to think properly." You know what's interesting? In the introduction, Baum talks a lot about wanting to venture away from the traditional fairy tales because they're kind of sullied by having to include like a moral or a lesson to the story. But like there's definitely lessons here, right? Like the Scarecrow is giving me big vibes of, you know, you always want what you don't have, and like the grass is greener on the other side. Oh my, I'm feeling a little bit funny. I don't know. Whenever I disenchant, it tries to close my Adobe Reader. Can it not close? Oh, okay, we're good. Thank you for the redeem, new mom. I have been disenchanted. Am I being robbed as well? I'm used to getting robbed at this point. Jelly time. Okay. Where are we? They left the cottage and walked through the trees until they found a little spring of clear water where Dorothy drank and bathed and ate her breakfast. She saw there was not much bread left in the basket, and the girl was thankful the Scarecrow did not have to eat anything, for there was scarcely enough for herself and Toto for the day. Oh, thank goodness she is feeding Toto. I didn't realize she was still feeding Toto because there was no mention of it, and I was like, what about Toto? Who's feeding Toto? Joker, thank you so much for the hydrate redeem. Please drink with me. Cheers. Friend, go get some water. Stay hydrated. When she had finished her meal and was about to go back to the road of yellow brick, she was startled to hear a deep groan nearby. "What was that?" she asked timidly. "I cannot imagine," replied the Scarecrow, "but we can go and see." Just then, another groan reached their ears. And the sound seemed to come from behind them. They turned and walked through the forest a few steps when Dorothy discovered something shining in a ray of sunshine that fell between the trees. She ran to the place and then stopped short with a cry of surprise. Gasp! Poggers! One of the big trees had been partly chopped, though, and standing beside it with an uplifted axe in his hands was a man made entirely of tin. His beard and arms were joined upon his body, his arms and legs were jointed upon his body, but he stood perfectly motionless as if he could not stir at all. Dorothy looked at him in amazement. That's hard to read. Dorothy looked at him in amazement, and so did the Scarecrow, while Toto barked sharply and made a snap at the tin legs, which hurt his teeth. Wait, Toto bit the Tin Man? Toto said, Did you groan? Said Dorothy. Yes, said the Tin Man, I did. I've been groaning for more than a year, and no one has heard me before or come to help me. Wait, that's so sad. That's so lonely. Tony Stark. This is the Iron Man prototype, everyone. What can I do for you? She inquired, softly, for she was moved by the sad voice in which the man spoke. Get an oil can and oil my joints, he answered. They are rusted so bad that I cannot move them at all. If I am well oiled, I shall soon be all right again. You will find an oil can on a shelf in my cottage. Oh, that was the Tin Man's cottage. Dorothy at once ran back to the cottage and found the oil can, and then she returned and asked anxiously, Where are your joints? Oil my neck first, replied the Tin Woodman. So she oiled it, and it was quite badly rusted. The Scarecrow took hold of the tin head and moved it gently from side to side until it worked freely, and then the man could turn himself. Now oil the joints in my arms, he said, and Dorothy oiled them, and the Scarecrow bent them carefully until they were quite free from rust and as good as new. The Tin Man gave a sigh of satisfaction and lowered his axe, which he leaned against the tree. This is a great comfort, he said. I have been holding this axe in the air ever since I rested, and I'm glad to be able to put it down at last. Now, if you will oil the joint of my legs, I shall be all right once more. So they oiled his legs until he could move them freely, and he thanked them again and again for his release. That's a word, yes, release. For he seemed a very polite creature and very grateful. I might have stood there if you had not come along, he said, so you have certainly saved my life. How did you happen to be here? We are on our way to the Emerald City to see the Great Oz, she answered, and we stopped at your cottage to pass the night. Why do you wish to see Oz? He asked. I wanted him to send me back to Kansas, and the Scarecrow wants him to put a few brains into his head," she replied. The Tin Woodman appeared. The Tin Woodman appeared to think deeply for a moment. Then he said, "Do you suppose Oz would give me a heart?" "Why, I guess so," Dorothy answered. "It would be as easy to give the Scarecrow brains." Whoa, Dorothy. Why are you making promises you can't keep? And also, you told the Scarecrow you weren't sure if Oz could give him a brain. How come all of a sudden you're like, yeah, it should be easy enough, give him the Scarecrow a brain, give you a heart, pretty easy. She said, "Have confidence at some point." Wow, look at the three of them. Oh, those are all the joints. The neck joint, the arms, funny joint, wrist joint, hip joint, knee joint, ankle joint. Wait, where's Toto? Where's Toto? Where's her favorite character? Dorothy Scammer. Would axe the book. Oh, oh, there's Toto. Can you see through my bow? I hope you can see enough. I'll move over a bit so you can see. "True," the Tin Woodman returned. "So if you will allow me to join your party, I will also go to the Emerald City and ask Oz to help me." "Come along," said the Scarecrow heartily, and Dorothy added that she would be pleased to have his company. So the Tin Woodman shouldered his axe, and they all passed through the forest until they came to a road that was paved with yellow brick. The Tin Woodman had asked Dorothy to put the oil can in her basket, for, he said, if I should get caught in the rain and rust again, I would need the oil can badly. It was a bit of good luck to have their new comrade join the party, for soon after they had begun their journey again, they came to a place where the trees and branches grew so thick over the road that the travelers could not pass. But the Tin Woodman set to work with his axe and chopped so well that soon he cleared the passage for the entire party. Dorothy was thinking so earnestly as they walked along that she did not notice when the Scarecrow stumbled into a hole and rolled over to the side of the road. Indeed, he was obliged to call to help him up again. "Why didn't you walk around the hole?" asked the Tin Woodman. "I don't know enough," replied the Scarecrow cheerfully. "My head is stuffed with straw, and that is why I'm going to ask Oz to ask him for some brains." Chiropractor on the case. Yeah, let's get you back in good shape. Yeah. "Oh, I see," said the Tin Woodman. I'm just gonna call him the Tin Man. I don't know, Woodman gets me all tongue-tied. "But after all, brains are not the best thing in the world." "Have you any?" inquired the Scarecrow. "No, my head is quite empty," answered the Tin Man. "But once I had brains and a heart also, so having tried them both, I should much rather have a heart." "And why is that?" asked the Scarecrow. "I will tell you my story and then you will know." So while they were walking through the forest, the Tin Man told the following story. "Call him Tony." "Yay, Fred, I'm glad you got some water. Please stay hydrated." You know what? Let's have some water right now. Are you ready? Cheers! Let's have a drink, everyone. I quite like this song. All right. I was born the son of a woodman who chopped down trees in the forest and sold wood for a living. When I grew up, I too became a wood chopper, and after my father died, I took care of my old mother as long as she lived. Then I made up my mind that instead of living alone, I would marry so that I would not become lonely. There was one of the Munchkin girls who was so beautiful that I soon grew to love her with all my heart. She, on her part, promised to marry me as soon as I can earn enough money to build a better house for her. So I set to work harder than ever. But the girl lived with an old woman who did not want her to marry anyone. Aww. for she was so lazy she wished the girl remain with her and do the cooking and the housework. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo on that. So the old woman went to the Wicked Witch of the East and promised her 2 sheep and a cow if she would prevent the marriage. Thereupon, the witch enchanted my axe, and when I was chopping away at my best one day, for I was anxious to get the new house and my wife as soon as possible, the axe slipped all at once and cut off my left leg. Oh? This at first seemed a great misfortune, for I knew a one-legged man cannot do very well as a wood chopper, so I went to a tinsmith and had him make me a new leg out of tin. The leg worked very well once I was used to it, but my action angered the Wicked Witch of the East, for she had promised the old woman I should not marry the pretty Munchkin girl. When I began chopping again, my axe slipped and cut off my right leg. Again, I went to the tinner, and again he made me a leg out of tin. After this, the enchanted axe cut off my arms, one after the other, but nothing daunted, I had them replaced with tin ones. This is so sad. Can I get some homie help for Tin Man? That's so sad. What a mean witch. Wait, which witch did we kill? We killed the Wicked Witch of the West, right? So the East is the one that's still living, I think? The Wicked Witch then made the axe slip and cut off my head, and at first I thought that was the end of me. Wait, how was that not the end of you? How is that not the end of you when you chopped off your head? But the tinner happened to come along and he made me a new head out of tin. Oh, the Witch of the West is alive. The Witch of the East is the one that our house landed on. Ah, I see. Hi, Goku, how are you? Can we run the ship of Theseus through thought experiment on this? What is that thought experiment? I don't think I'm familiar with it. I thought I had beaten the Wicked Witch then, and I worked harder than ever, but I little knew how cruel my enemy would be. She thought of a new way to kill my love for the beautiful Munchkin maiden and made my axe slip again so that it cut right through my body, splitting me into 2 halves. Once more. The tinner came to my help and made me a body of tin, fastening my arms and legs and head to it by means of joints so that I could move around as well as ever. Excuse me, oh. But alas, I had now no heart, so that I lost all my love for the Munchkin girl and did not care whether I married her or not. I suppose she is still living with the old woman, waiting for me to come after her. Did they go over this in the movie? I don't recall this. My body shone so brightly in the sun that I felt very proud of it, and it did not matter now if my axe slipped, for it could not cut me. There was only one danger, that my joints would rust. But I kept an oil can in my cottage and took care of my oil whenever I needed it. However, there came a day when I forgot to do this, and being caught in a rainstorm, before I thought of the danger, my joints and I rusted, and I was left to stand in the woods until you came to help me. It was a terrible thing to undergo, but during the year I stood there, I had time to think that the greatest loss I had known was the loss of my heart. While I was in love, I was the happiest man on earth, but no one can love who has not a heart. Shing! Shing! Oh my gosh! What is that? Wait, let's enhance. Enhance. Wait, hang on. I want you all to be able to see the face. That face. Is that a pug? It's the sun. Is this the first Pog in existence? The Pog of 1899? Oh my gosh, people have been pogging since 1899. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. Come be raid. Welcome, Raiders. Raiders, Behold, this is the first pog to have ever existed. In 1899, the sun has been pogging since 1899. Ah! Yeah. Welcome, Raiders! Yeah, thank you so much for the raid. How are we today? What have you been up to? You were doing some ASMR? How did it go? Did you have fun? Comfy raid! Comfy raid! Welcome, Raiders! Today, we are reading The Wizard of Oz. So feel free to get nice and cozy. Yeah, this is the pog of 1899. Did you know people have been pogging since the 1900s? Raiders, please tell me your favorite thing about Mia. How did you enjoy the stream? And welcome. Let's see. Since we're reading a story today, let's catch you up. So we're reading The Wizard of Oz today, and so there's a young girl named Dorothy. Let me go back. Oh my gosh, we can just revisit the pictures. Hi, Bean. We had lots of fun. I'm glad you had lots of fun. Yay! Thank you so much for dropping by with your community. I really appreciate it. Her voice is very cute, and yours is too. Oh, stop it, you make me blush. Her ASMR stream is very relaxing. Candy and her vocal range, amazing. Oh yes. Okay, so this is The Wizard of Oz. And it's about a young girl named Dorothy who used to live in Kansas. And one day, a cyclone came and it swept up her whole house. And when she landed in Oz. And her house crushed and killed the Wicked Witch of the East. And now she's like, I want to go home. There's no place like home. So the Good Witch told her she needs to go to Oz. Wait, oh my god, is this also the first ever isekai? My brain is blowing right now. You've heard it, the first isekai and the first pog right here. Also, Mia, if you need to get some rest, to recharge and decompress, please feel free. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I usually get robbed when I get disenchanted, but not today. So now Dorothy is following the yellow brick road to try and get home. And she's picked up a few friends along the way. She's picked up a Scarecrow, and she's picked up a Tin Man, who's the one that we're reading about now. Oh yeah, Alice in Wonderland is also an isekai. Wait, which one is older? Is The Wizard of Oz older or Alice in Wonderland? Probably Alice in Wonderland, right? But you know, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty hecky sure this is the first ever pog. No, I'm being robbed. Please take good care of my bowl with cheese too. Please take good care of my glasses. But joke's on you, because in 2 minutes I get my magic back. Oh, Fluff has pulled out the cone as well. Raiders, how are you doing today? I hope you're nice and cozy. We're gonna get back to reading in just a moment after I put on my blanket. I guess Fluff wanted me to be extra comfy since you brought a comfy raid, so get that on. Okay. Where did we leave off? Let's start. While I was in love, I was the happiest man on earth, but no one can love who has not a heart, and so I am resolved to ask Oz to give me one. If he does, I will go back to the Munchkin maiden and marry her. Both Dorothy and the Scarecrow had been greatly interested in the story of the Tin Man, and now they knew why he was so anxious to get a new heart. All the same, said the Scarecrow, I shall ask for a brain instead of a heart, for a fool would not know what to do with a heart if he had one. I shall take the heart, returned the Tin Man, for brains do not make one happy, and happiness is the best thing in the world. Wow, spitting facts. Also, welcome everyone who followed. You are now a member of the Bloom, which is another word for a group of jellyfish. Let me go back and say hi. Rack, Juxon, Pluckcarp, Drunk Swan, Funk, Frozen Reaper, Man Spider, Basilius, Chanovac, Joker, Helljumper, and Xanthem. Welcome, welcome. Also, Kana, thank you so much for the hydrate chat. If you have something to drink, please drink with me. Cheers! Oh, my magic is coming back. My magic is about to come back. Buckle your seatbelts. Hello. This is what I normally look like. No, not ice cream. Look, I'm a real girl. I'm a real girl now. See? See, I'm a real girl. Oh no, my ahoge is cutting off. Hang on. I'm a real girl now. Alice in Wonderland was 1865. Oh, Alice in Wonderland is the first isekai. Today I learned. Racer, don't cover my bow in oil. And thank you so much for the compliments. Thank you. Can I zoom in a little bit more? Okay. Look how cute. Look how cute the Cowardly Lion is. Adorable. Chat, do you have a favorite character from the story so far? Or in general? I always liked the Cowardly Lion because I also was very cowardly when I was a young jelly. Pat, 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 pat. Can I give a head pat to the lion? Those thighs? What's wrong with the thighs, Shisu? What's wrong with the thighs? I don't see anything wrong with those thighs, do you? Pat, 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 pat. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Alright. What chapter is this? Chapter 6. Chapter 6. They're so cute, oh my gosh. Oh no. It's kind of hard to read the text when it has the backing on it. I'm gonna do my best. All this time, Dorothy and her companions had been walking through the thick woods. The road was still paved with yellow brick, but these were much covered by dried branches and dead leaves from the trees. And the walking was not good at all. There were few birds in this part of the forest, for birds love the open country where there is plenty of sunshine. But now and then there came a deep growl from some wild animal hidden among the trees. These sounds made the little girl's heart beat fast, for she did not know what made them. Uh-oh, you can't see. You can't see the other peach. There we go. But Toto knew, and he walked close to Dorothy's side and did not even bark in return. I think Toto's my new favorite character. Toto's always looking out for her and protecting her. Toto is there to guard for stranger danger and to protect her from strange sounds of the forest. I think Toto's the best. Awesome Monster, thank you so much for the stretch routine. Please stretch with me, chat, and unshrimp your backs. Hello, Chacho. Also, Goku, I think I missed your explanation of the theory. Wait, can I scroll back? Will I be able to find it? Oh no, I can't scroll back. I can't scroll back. Goku, if you want to repost the theory, I'll try to read it this time. I'm sorry. Thank you. Bye, Nova. Thank you so much for hanging out. Bye. Just the dog best character. You don't see ankles? I mean, do lions really have ankles? Toto protect, Toto attack, but most importantly, Toto's small. Most importantly, Toto loves Dorothy. In the metaphysics of identity, the ship of Theseus is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether an object that has had all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. My brain. Alright, Goku, I will let you apply that theory because my brain's small. So, are you able to read that okay? I feel like it got like a tiny bit smaller. Enhance? Enhance a little bit? Okay, there we go. Where am I? How long will it be the child of the Tin Man? How long will it be, the child asked of the Tin Man, before we're out of the forest? I cannot tell was the answer, for I have never been to the Emerald City. But my father went there once when I was a boy, and he said it was a long journey through a dangerous country. Although nearer to the city where Oz dwells, the country is beautiful. But I am not afraid, so long as I have my oil can, and nothing can hurt the Scarecrow while you bear upon your forehead the mark of the Good Witch's kiss, and that will protect you from harm. But Toto, said the girl anxiously, what will protect him? You protect Toto. Toto's your dog. We must protect him ourselves if he is in danger, replied the Tin Man. Just as he spoke, there came from the forest a terrible roar. Oh wait, that's not a roar. Oh no, I apologize. I don't know what that first sound was. Just as he spoke, there came from the forest a terrible roar. And the next moment, a great lion bounded into the road. With one blow of his paw, he sent the Scarecrow spinning over and over to the edge of the road, and then he struck at the Tin Man with his sharp claws. But to the lion's surprise, he could make no impression on the tin, although the Tin Man fell over in the road and lay still. Little Toto, now that he had an enemy to face, ran barking toward the lion. One, ruff, 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 ruff. And the great beast had opened his mouth to bite the dog when Dorothy, fearing Toto would be killed and heedless of danger, rushed forward and slapped the lion upon his nose as hard as she could while she cried out, "Don't you dare bite Toto! You ought to be ashamed of yourself, a big beast like you, to bite a poor little dog." "I didn't bite him," said the lion as he rubbed his nose with his paw where Dorothy had hit it. "No, but you tried to," she retorted. "You are nothing but a big coward." "I know it," said the lion, hanging his head in shame. "I've always known it, but how can I help it?" "I don't know, I'm sure. To think of your striking a stuffed man like the poor Scarecrow." "Is he stuffed?" asked the lion in surprise, as he watched her pick up the Scarecrow and set him upon his feet while she patted him into shape again. "Of course he's stuffed," replied Dorothy, who was still angry. "That's why he went over so easily," remarked the lion. "It astonished me to see him whirl around so. Is the other one stuffed also?" "No," said Dorothy, "he's made of tin," and she helped the Tin Man up again. "That's why he nearly blunted my claws," said the lion. "When they scratched against the tin, it made a cold shiver run down my back. What is the little animal that you are so tender of?" "Oh, did you hear that the police are here for the lion?" "He is my dog Toto's," answered Dorothy. "Is he made of tin or stuffed?" said the lion. "Neither. He's a meat dog." Did she just call Toto meat? She just called Toto meat. That doesn't sound right. "Oh, he's a curious animal and seems remarkably small now that I look at him. No one would think of biting such a little thing except a little coward like me," continued the lion sadly. "What makes you a coward?" asked Dorothy, looking at the great beast in wonder, for he was as big as a small horse. "It's a mystery," replied the lion. "I suppose I was born that way. All the other animals in the forest naturally expected me to be brave, for the lion is everywhere thought to be the king of beasts. I learned that if I roared very loudly, every living thing was frightened and got out of my way. Whenever I've met a man, I've been awfully scared. I just roared at him as he always runs away fast as he could go. If the elephants and the tigers and bears had ever tried to fight me, I should have run myself. I'm such a coward. But just as soon as they hear me roar, they all try to get away from me, and of course I let them go." Why do I see mentions of emergency food? No, there's no emergency food here. But that isn't right. The king of beasts shouldn't be a coward, said the Scarecrow. I know it, returned the lion, wiping a tear from his eye with the tip of his tail. Oh my gosh, that imagery! It is my great sorrow and makes my life very unhappy. But whenever there is a danger, my heart begins to beat fast. Perhaps you have a... I'm sorry. Perhaps you have heart disease, said the Tin Man. It may be, said the lion. Hang on. Perhaps you have a heart disease. I can't. You ought to be glad, for it proves you have a heart. For my part, I have no heart, so I cannot have heart disease. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's so funny. I cannot have heart disease. Perhaps, said the lion thoughtfully, if I had no heart, I should not be a coward. Have you brains? Asked the Scarecrow. I suppose so. I've never looked to see, said the lion. I am going to the Great Oz to ask him to give me some, remarked the Scarecrow, for my head is stuffed with straw. And I am going to ask him to give me a heart, said the Tin Man. And I am going to ask him to send Toto and me back to Kansas, said Dorothy. Do you think the Oz could give me some courage? Asked the Cowardly Lion. Just as easily as he could give me brains, said the Scarecrow. Or give me a heart, said the Tin Man. Or send me back to Kansas, said Dorothy. Then if you don't mind, I'll go with you, said the lion, for my life is simply unbearable without a bit of courage. Okay, the Cowardly Lion is my new favorite. Oh, thank you so much, Hat Kid. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Dorothy really went from, I don't know, maybe the Oz can give you a brain to, yeah, whatever you want, look under your seat, Oz will give it to you. Don't do that, children. Don't make promises you can't keep. You'll be very welcome, answered Dorothy, for you will help to keep away the other wild beasts. It seems to me they must be more cowardly than you are if they allow you to scare them so easily. Courage the Cowardly Dog even survived. How could a lion not? You know, you can't judge a book by its cover, so you can't just look at a lion and assume that they're big and mean and tough. They might be cowardly like this lion right here. So once more, the little company set off upon the journey, the lion walking with stately strides at Dorothy's side. Toto did not approve this new comrade at first, for he could not forget how nearly he had been crushed between the lion's great jaws. But after a great time, he became more at ease, and presently Toto and the Cowardly Lion had grown to be good friends. Oh, it's so precious. It's so precious. During the rest of the day, there was no other adventure to mar the peace of their journey. Once indeed, the Tin Woodman stepped upon a beetle that was crawling along the road and killed the poor little thing. This made the Tin Man very unhappy, for he was always careful not to hurt any living creature. And as he walked along and wept several tears of sorrow and regret, these tears ran slowly down his face and over the hinges of his jaw, and there they rested. When Dorothy presently asked him a question, the Tin Woodman could not open his mouth, for his jaws were tightly rested together. He became greatly frightened at this and made many motions to Dorothy to relieve him, but she could not hear or understand. The lion was also puzzled to know what was wrong, but the Scarecrow seized the oil can from Dorothy's basket and oiled the woodman's jaw so that after a few moments he could talk as well as before. Look! The Scarecrow exercised some brains! He did it! Even though he doesn't think he has brains, he was the one who figured it out. This will serve me a lesson, said he, to look where I step, for if I should kill another bug or beetle, I should surely cry again, and crying rusts my jaw so that I cannot speak. Thereafter, he walked very carefully with his eyes on the road, and when he saw a tiny ant toiling by, he would step over it so as to not harm it. Oh, how sweet! The Tin Woodman knew very well he had no heart, and therefore he took great care never to be cruel or unkind to anything. You people with hearts, he said, have something to guide you and need never do wrong, but I have no heart, and so I must be very careful. When Oz gives me a heart, of course, I needn't mind so much. That's scary. The jaw hinged shut. That looks very creepy. They're so sweet, though. The characters have such a sweet dynamic with each other. What are these? Alright, chat. What are these? At first, I wanted to say tigers because of the stripes. But then what's happening here? Is it like a tiger in a fur coat? Hi, boy. Tanuki. Tigers? How come they're not striped all the way? Are these what Oz tigers look like? Tiger, badger, bear. Badger tigers. It's Tommy and Tim Nook. And it's like, hello. This is Tommy. Tommy's like, hello. Hello. What would you like to buy today? What would you like to buy today? How cute. The lion is so cute. Tiger, panda, raccoon. Does that make it a homunculus, technically? Wait, what is a homunculus, technically? Does that make it? No. Is homunculus the right word? Maybe? White tigers in suits. Aww, cute. Let's see. They were obliged to camp out. They were obliged to camp out that night under a large tree in the forest, for there were no houses near. The tree made a good thick covering to protect them from the dew, and the Tin Man chopped a great pile of wood with his axe, and Dorothy built a splendid fire that warmed her and made her feel less lonely. She and Toto ate the last of their bread, and now she did not know what they would do for breakfast. If you wish, said the lion, I will go into the forest and kill a deer for you. You can roast it by the fire, since your tastes are so peculiar that you prefer cooked food, and then you will have a very good breakfast. Don't, please don't, begged the Tin Man. I should certainly weep if you killed a poor deer, and then my jaws would rust again. Aw, what a little crew. Oh no, Chi, please take good care of your mama. Thank you so much for dropping by. Chat, can we get some homie hugs for Chi and their mama? Chimera. That's what I was thinking of. Not homunculus. But the lion went away into the forest and found his own supper, and no one ever knew what it was, for he didn't mention. And the Scarecrow found a tree full of nuts and filled Dorothy's basket with them, so that she would not be hungry for a long time. She thought this was very kind and thoughtful of the Scarecrow, but she laughed heartily at the awkward way in which the poor creature picked up the nuts. His padded hands were so clumsy and the nuts were so small that he dropped almost as many as he put in the basket. They're so cute. They're so cute. But the Scarecrow did not mind how long it took him to fill the basket, for it enabled him to keep away from the fire, as he feared a spark might get into his straw and burn him up. So he kept a good distance away from the flames, and only came near to cover Dorothy with dry leaves when she lay down to sleep. They're so precious! I want to cry! They're so sweet! My gosh! Honey hugs, Chi! Bye bye bye! Oh, look, the Scarecrow is just doing his best! And he puts a blanket on her when she sleeps! Stop! That's so sweet. These kept her very snug and warm, and she slept soundly until morning. When it was daylight, the girl bathed The girl bathed her face in a little rippling brook, and soon after, they all started toward Emerald City. This was to be an eventful day for the travelers. They had hardly been walking an hour when they saw before them a great ditch that crossed the road and divided the forest as far as they can see on either side. It was a very wide ditch, and when they crept up to the edge and looked into it, they could see it was also very deep, and there were many big jagged rocks at the bottom. The sides were so steep that none of them could climb down, and for a moment it seemed that their journey must end. "What shall we do?" asked Dorothy despairingly. "I haven't the faintest idea," said the Tin Man, and the Lion shook his shaggy mane and looked thoughtful, but the Scarecrow said, "We cannot fly, that is certain. Neither can we climb down into this great ditch. Therefore, if we jump over it, we must stop where we are." "I think I could jump over it," said the Cowardly Lion, after measuring the distance carefully in his mind. "Then we are all right," answered the Scarecrow, "for you can carry us all over on your back, one at a time." "Well, I'll try it," said the Lion. "Who will go first?" "I will," declared the Scarecrow, "for if you found that you could not jump over the gulf, Dorothy would be killed, or the Tin Man badly dented on the rocks below. But if I am on your back, it will not matter so much, for the fall would not hurt me at all." Okay, maybe the Scarecrow is my new favorite character. The Scarecrow is such a sweet friend. "I'm terribly afraid of falling myself." Oh, hang on. We're scared again. "I'm terribly afraid of falling myself," said the Cowardly Lion. "But I suppose there is nothing to do but try it. So get on my back and we will make the attempt." The Scarecrow sat upon the Lion's back, and the big beast walked to the edge of the gulf and crouched down. "Why don't you run and jump?" said the Scarecrow. "Because that isn't the way we lions do these things," he replied. Then, giving a great spring, he shot through the air and landed safely on the other side. They were all greatly pleased to see how easily he did it, and after the Scarecrow had got down from his back, the Lion sprang across the ditch again. Dorothy thought she would go next, so she took Toto into her arms and climbed onto the Lion's back, holding tightly to his mane with one hand. The next moment, it seemed as if she was flying through the air. And then, before she had time to think about it, she was safe on the other side. The Lion went back a third time and got the Tin Woodman, and then they all sat down for a few moments to give the beast a chance to rest, for his great leaps had made his breath short, and he panted like a big dog that has been running too long. Scarecrow is so smart, even though Scarecrow doesn't technically, quote-unquote, have a brain. Scarecrow MVP. Aww, but even while jumping, look how nervous. Look how nervous the Lion looks. What a cutie. They found the forest very thick on this side, and it looked dark and gloomy. After the Lion had rested, they started along the road of yellow brick, silently wondering each in his own mind if ever they would come to the end of the woods and reach the bright sunshine again. To add to their discomfort, they soon heard strange noises in the depths of the forest, and the Lion whispered to them that it was part of this country that the DJ Khaled? Another one? Kalidas? Lived. Kalidas. DJ Khaled. Let's call them Kalidas. "What are the Kalidas?" asked the girl. "They are monstrous beasts with bodies like bears and heads like tigers," replied the Lions, "and with claws so long and sharp that they could tear me in two as easily as I could kill Toto. I'm terribly afraid of the Kalidas." Oh, so that's what they are. So, bodies like bears, heads like tigers. Ah, bodies like bears, heads like tigers. Okay, I can see it now. "I'm not surprised that you are," returned Dorothy. "They must be dreadful beasts." "Eek, welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a cherry good stay." Ah, and Bloody as well. Welcome to the Bloom. I hope you have a cherry good stay. The lion was about to reply when suddenly they came to another gulf across the road. But this one was so broad and deep that the lion knew at once he could not leap across it. So they sat down to consider what they should do. And after serious thought, the Scarecrow said, "Here is a great tree standing close to the ditch. If the Tin Woodman can chop it down so that it will fall to the other side, we can walk across it quite easily." "That is a first-rate idea," said the lion. "One would almost suspect you had brains in your head instead of straw." The Woodman set to work at once, and so sharp was his axe that the tree was soon chopped nearly through. Then the lion put his strong front legs against the tree and pushed with all his might, and slowly the big tree tipped and fell with a crash across the ditch with its top branches off the other side. It's okay about it. I was wondering. They had just started to cross this queer bridge when a sharp growl made them all look up, and to their horror, they saw running toward them two great beasts with bodies like bears and heads like tigers. Ah, Bloody, thank you so much for the hydrate redeem. Please drink with me, chat. Cheers! "They are Kalidas," said the Cowardly Lion, beginning to tremble. "Quick!" cried the Scarecrow. "Let us cross over." So Dorothy went first, holding Toto in her arms. The Tin Woodman followed, and the Scarecrow came next. The lion, although he was certainly afraid, turned to face the Kalidas, and then he gave so loud and terrible a roar that Dorothy screamed, and the Scarecrow fell over backwards, while even the fierce beast stopped short and looked at him in surprise. But seeing they were bigger than the lion, and remembering that there were two of them and only one of him, the Kalidas again rushed forward, and the lion crossed over the tree and turned to see what they would do next. Without stopping an instant, the fierce beasts also began to cross the tree, and the lion said to Dorothy, "We are lost, for surely they will tear us to pieces with their sharp claws. But stand close behind me, and I will fight them as long as I am alive." "Wait a minute," said the Scarecrow. He had been thinking what was best to be done, and now he asked the Woodman to chop away at the end of the tree that rested on the other side of the ditch. The Tin Man began to use his axe at once, and just as the two Kalidas were nearly across, the tree fell with a crash into the gulf, carrying the ugly snarling brutes with it, and both were dashed to pieces on the... Oh my! And both were dashed to pieces on the sharp rocks at the bottom. "Well," said the Cowardly Lion, drawing a long breath of relief, "I see we are going to live a little while longer, and I am glad of it, for it must be very uncomfortable to not be alive. Those creatures frightened me so badly that my heart is beating yet." "Ah," said the Tin Man sadly, "I wish I had a heart to beat." This adventure made the travelers more anxious than ever to get out of the forest, and they walked so fast that Dorothy became tired and had to ride on the lion's back. To their great joy, the trees became thinner the further they advanced, and in the afternoon they suddenly came upon a broad river flowing swiftly just before them. On the other side of the water, they could see the road of yellow brick running through beautiful country, with green meadows dotted with bright flowers, and all the road bordered with trees hanging full of delicious fruits. They were greatly pleased to see this delightful country before them. "How shall we cross the river?" asked Dorothy. That is easily done," replied the Scarecrow. "The Tin Woodman must build us a raft so we can float to the other side." So the Woodman took his axe and began to chop down small trees to make a raft, and while he was busy at this, the Scarecrow found on the riverbank a tree full of fine fruit. This pleased Dorothy, who had eaten nothing but nuts all day, and she made a hearty meal of the ripe fruit. But it takes time to make a raft, even when one is as industrious and untiring as the Tin Man. And when night came and the work was not done... when night came, the work was not done. So they found a cozy place under the tree where they slept well until the morning. And Dorothy dreamed of the Emerald City and of the good old wizard who would soon send her back to her home again. I'm gonna take another drink. Oh, I can't decide who I love the most out of the 3 characters. They're all so sweet. Alright, chat. You have to go through the scary woods with either the Cowardly Lion, the Scarecrow, or the Tin Man. Which one do you pick? You would pick... Oh yeah, Toto! You would pick Toto. Aw. That's true. Toto is brave, Toto protect, and Toto protect. Wait, Toto protect and Toto attack. Yeah. And most importantly, Toto has Dorothy's back. You would take the axe, Toto? Just the axe? You don't want the Tin Man? You can have a 2-for-1 deal. You can have the Tin Man and the axe. Yeah. I see Toto is the popular choice. Wow! This illustration is so pretty. I really like that. That's so nice. Oh my goodness, that's adorable. Look at those puppies. How beautiful. I vaguely remember this part. You'll take the Tin Man then. Yeah. Are we getting closer to Oz? He seems nice. The Tin Man has a very tender heart. He's crying at everything, even though he doesn't think he has a heart. I really like how, for different chapters, there's different accent colors. Like for this one, it's red. And then for this one, it was green. Do we have any others? Was the first one blue? I guess, yeah, for the Munchkin one, it was kind of like, I guess it was still green. But I like that this chapter has red accents for the poppies. That's so cool. It's such a nice touch. But it's poison. Gasp. Gasp. I think we'll end on this chapter for today. Our little party of travelers awakened next morning, refreshed and full of hope, and Dorothy breakfasted like a princess off of peaches and plums from the trees beside the river. Also, Kimimaru, welcome to the bloom. I hope you have a very good stay. Behind them was the dark forest they had passed safely through, although they had suffered many discouragements. But before them was a lovely sunny country that seemed to beckon them on to the Emerald City. To be sure, the broad river now cut them off from this beautiful land, but the raft was nearly done, and after the Tin Woodman had cut a few more logs and fastened them together with wooden pins, they were ready to start. Dorothy sat down in the middle of the raft, held Toto in her arms. When the Cowardly Lion stepped upon the raft, it tipped badly, for he was big and heavy, but the Scarecrow and the Tin Man stood upon the other end to steady it. And they had long poles in their hands to push the raft through the water. They got along quite well at first, but when they reached the middle of the river with the swift current, swept the raft down the stream, farther and farther away from the road of yellow brick, and the water grew so deep that the long poles would not touch the bottom. "This is bad," said the Tin Woodman, "for if we cannot get to land, we shall be carried into the country of the Wicked Witch of the West, and she will enchant us and make us her slaves. And then I should get no brains," said the Scarecrow. "And I should get no courage," said the Cowardly Lion. "And I should get no heart," said the Tin Woodman. "And I should never get back to Kansas," said Dorothy. "We must certainly get to the Emerald City if we can," said the Scarecrow, as he pushed so hard on his long pole that it stuck fast in the mud at the bottom of the river, and before he could pull it out again or let go, the raft was swept away, and the poor Scarecrow left clinging to the pole in the middle of the river. Oh no, poor Scarecrow! Oh my goodness! Also, friend, and anyone else, if you're feeling tired, please feel free to get some rest. Hi, Poppyist, how are you? It's good to see you. "Goodbye," he called after them, and they were very sorry to leave him. Indeed, the Tin Woodman began to cry, but fortunately remembered that he might rust and so dried his tears on Dorothy's apron. Of course, this was a bad thing for the Scarecrow. "I am now worse off than when I first met Dorothy," he thought. "Then I was stuck on a pole in a cornfield where I could make believe scare the crows at any rate, but surely there is no use for a scarecrow stuck on a pole in the middle of a river. I'm afraid I shall never have any brains after all." Down the stream the raft floated, and the poor Scarecrow was left far behind. Then the Lion said, "Something must be done to save us. I think I can swim to the shore and pull the raft after me if you will only hold fast to the tip of my tail." So he sprang into the water, and the Tin Men caught fast hold of his tail, and when the Lion began to swim with all his might toward the shore. It was hard work, although he was so big, but by and by they were drawn out of the current, and then Dorothy took the Tin Man's long pole and helped push the raft towards land. They were all tired out when they reached the shore at last, and stepped off upon the pretty green grass, and they also knew that the stream had carried them a long way past the road of yellow brick that led to Emerald City. "What shall we do now?" asked the Tin Man, as the Lion lay down on the grass to let the sun dry him. "We must get back to the road in some way," said Dorothy. "The best plan will be to walk along the river bank until we come to the road again," remarked the Lion. "Wait, are they not gonna get the Scarecrow? Are they not going back for Scarecrow? Our homie Scarecrow?" "The best plan will be to walk along the riverbank until we come to the road again," remarked the Lion. So when they rested, Dorothy picked up her basket and they started along the grassy bank, back from the road from which the river had carried them. It was a lovely country, with plenty of flowers and trees and sunshine to cheer them. And had they not felt sorry for the poor Scarecrow, they could have been very happy. They're not going back. But friendship. Friendship. They walked along as fast as they could, Dorothy only stopping once to pick a beautiful flower. And after a time, the Tin Man cried out, "Look!" Then they all looked at the river and saw the Scarecrow perched upon his pole in the middle of the water, looking very lonely and sad. "What can we do to save him?" asked Dorothy. The Lion and the Woodsman both shook their heads, for they did not know. So they sat down upon the bank and gazed wistfully at the Scarecrow until a stork flew by, which, seeing them, stopped to rest at the water's edge. "Who are you, and where are you going?" asked the stork. "I'm Dorothy," answered the girl, "and these are my friends, the Tin Woodman and the Cowardly Lion, and we are going to the Emerald City." She didn't say the Scarecrow was right there, but she didn't point at the Scarecrow and say that the Scarecrow was also her friend. I would feel so betrayed. "Who are you?" This isn't the road," said the stork, as she twisted her long neck and looked sharply at the queer party. "I know it," returned Dorothy, "but we have lost the Scarecrow and are wondering how we shall get him again." "Where is he?" asked the stork. "Over there in the river," answered the girl. "If he wasn't so big and heavy, I would get him for you," remarked the stork. "He isn't heavy a bit," said Dorothy eagerly, "for he is stuffed with straw, and if you will bring him back to us, we shall thank you ever and ever so much." "Well, I'll try," said the stork, "but if I find he is too heavy to carry, I shall have to drop him in the river again." So the big bird flew into the air and over the water till she came to where the Scarecrow was perched upon his pole. Then the stork, with her great claws, grabbed the Scarecrow by the arm and carried him up into the air and back to the bank where Dorothy and the Lion and the Tin Woodman and Toto were sitting. When the Scarecrow found himself among his friends again, he was so happy that he hugged them all, even the Lion and Toto, and as they all walked along, he sang "Tol-de-re, tol-de-blah-blah-blah," something like that, and at every step he felt so gay. "I was afraid I should have to stay in the river forever," he said, "but the kind stork saved me, and if I ever get any brains, I shall find the stork again and do it some kindness in return." "That's all right," said the stork, who was flying along beside them. "I always like to help anyone in trouble, but I must go now, for my babies are waiting in the nest for me." "I hope you will find the Emerald City and that Oz will help you." "Thank you," replied Dorothy, and then the kind stork flew into the air and was soon out of sight. They walked along, listening to the bright-colored birds and looking at the lovely flowers, which now became so thick that the ground was carpeted with them. These were big yellow, white, and blue and purple blossoms, besides great clusters of scarlet poppies, which were so brilliant in color they almost dazzled Dorothy's eyes. "Aren't they beautiful?" the girl asked as she breathed into the spicy scent of the flowers. "I suppose so," answered the Scarecrow. "When I have brains, I shall surely like them better." "If only I had a heart, I should love them," added the Tin Man. "I always did like flowers," answered the Lion. "They seem so helpless and frail, but there are none in the forest so bright as these." Does the lion have allergies? Look at that picture. They now came upon more and more of the big scarlet poppies, and fewer of the other flowers, and as soon as they found themselves in the midst of a great meadow of poppies. Now it is well known that when there are many of these flowers together, their odor is so powerful that anyone who breathes it falls asleep, and if the sleeper is not carried away from the scent of the flower, he sleeps on and on forever. But Dorothy did not know this, nor could she get away from the bright red flowers that were everywhere about, so presently her eyes grew heavy, and she felt she must sit down to rest and to sleep. But the Tin Woodman would not let her do this. "We must hurry and get back to the road of yellow brick before dark," he said, and the Scarecrow had agreed with him. So they kept walking until Dorothy could stand no longer. Her eyes closed in spite of herself, and she forgot where she was and fell asleep among the poppies, fast asleep. "What shall we do?" asked the Tin Man. "If we leave her here, she will die," said the Lion. "The smell of the flowers is killing us all. I myself can scarcely keep my eyes open, and the dog is asleep already." It was true. Toto had fallen down beside his little Try again. It was true. Toto had fallen down beside his little mistress, but the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman, not being made of flesh, were not troubled by the scent of the flowers. "Run fast," said the Scarecrow to the Lion, and get out of this deadly flower bed as soon as you can. We will bring the little girl with us, but if you should fall asleep, you too are too big to be carried." So the Lion aroused himself and bounded forward as fast as he could go. In a moment he was out of sight. "Let us make a chair with our hands and carry her," said the Scarecrow. So they picked up Toto and put the dog in Dorothy's lap, and then they made a chair with their hands for the seat and their arms for the arms. And then they made a chair with their hands for the seat and their arms for the arms, and they carried the sleeping girl between them through the flowers. On and on they walked, and it seemed that the great carpet of deadly flowers that surrounded them would never end. They followed the bend of the river, and at last came upon their friend the Lion, lying fast asleep among the poppies. The flowers had been too strong for the huge beast, and he had given up at last, and fallen only a short distance from the end of the poppy bed, where the sweet grass spread in beautiful grass fields before them. "We can do nothing for him," said the Tin Man sadly, "for he is much too heavy to lift. We must leave him here to sleep on forever, and perhaps he will dream that he has found courage at last." Aww. "I'm sorry," said the Scarecrow. "The Lion was a very good comrade for one so cowardly, but let us go on." They carried the sleeping girl to a pretty spot beside the river, far enough from the poppy field to prevent her breathing any more of the poison of the flowers, and here they laid her gently on the soft grass and waited for the fresh breeze to awaken her. Wow, that is the last chapter for today. Also, Gail, welcome